What's up, everybody? Okay, there we go. Now we're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Second Street Marvel. I'm your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for tuning into the morning movie chat today. I hope you're all having a very good day today. As in case you can't see, there are some technical difficulties going on right now with OBS. I tried to start the stream and it didn't want to work. It was being very, very testy for me. So I went ahead and decided to go ahead and get here on StreamYard. So we're going to go ahead and do this live broadcast through StreamYard. So again, if in case you guys don't already know, all of these YouTube live streams that I do here are brought to you courtesy of my awesome Patreon supporters. There are links down in the description of this video where you can go and become a monthly Patreon supporter. You can donate as little as $1 to help support the channel. And all those donations are greatly appreciated. There are different tiers, and don't look too much into that quite yet. I think I've got like 2 of them set up right now that you can go and join. Again, I don't ask too much. Hey, if you got $1, hey, I appreciate it. If you got $5, hey, man, I greatly appreciate that as well. So, yeah, guys, it looks. Let me see if I can find this here now. I had all this stuff pulled up here before, getting ready to go into the show, and just. With all the technical difficulties, things didn't quite work out so well. Before I get into today's main subjects today, I gotta get in here and show you guys this article that seems to be something that a lot of people are now talking about. So let's go ahead and get into this article here that I will share with you guys here in just a second. Let me see. Let's see where this is going to go to. This will be right here. Okay. So right here, we see we've got this article here being coming out of MCUcosmic.com. As Jeremy Conrad over there at MCU Cosmic, and he's got this report that a trans actress is being cast for a role in the Loki TV series. Okay, now guys, you know how the current state of everything these days. This is going to be a very controversial subject coming up here over the coming days and weeks and all that stuff. So make sure that you keep your eyes out for that, and let's go ahead and get into this right here. We see this report: trans actors being cast for a role in Loki. Last summer, the GWW, I'm not sure, was that Geeks Worldwide maybe, reported that Marvel was looking for a transgender actress for an upcoming role. That back then it was believed that it could be for Thor: Love and Thunder, but now we know that it is for Loki. According to the Illuminati, this role is actually going to be for Loki, and it does seem like this will be the character of Sarah in the MCU. This could also explain why Marvel was looking for a stand-in for an African-American woman in the series. The stand-in is likely for this character, and with that insight, it is possible the other stand-in isn't for Enchantress, but rather Mist. That would make a lot of sense because the Loki series is dealing with time travel. He could run into Valkyries such as Sarah and Mist in the past before the fight with Hela that was shown in Thor Ragnarok. This all means that the GWW's original speculation that this could be for Sarah would still be correct. However, she would appear first in Loki instead of the 4th Thor movie. And I don't know about you guys. I mean, I guess that all makes sense. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I know some people feel different things about this kinds of stuff. A trans actress being cast. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's the end of the world. Nah, it's not that big a deal, but I get it. A lot of people are, I wouldn't say that a lot of people are against like this inclusion or this diversity in films. I mean, inclusion and diversity has always been there. It's something that's always been, it's just been part of the movie culture for a long time. That's people have been represented in films and things like that. It's always been that way. Now the only problem is, and I get a lot of people's fear, is that maybe it's not going to be done well. Maybe it's going to be done in a way that is sloppy, like lazy writing and things like that. Honestly, I haven't really seen a whole lot of those things out of the MCU yet. I mean, Captain Marvel is probably worst case scenario of anything like that, where they brought in a character that while is in the comics and is well known in the comics and everything, um, they took the character out of the original origins of that character. They took the original origins of that character and got rid of him. And that's, honestly, that's sloppy writing. I have a video, and maybe I need to work on that this weekend, called Saving Captain Marvel. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be called Saving Captain Marvel. Yes, I'm going to be so bold as to venture into what is it that could possibly save Captain Marvel in the MCU, and maybe just that whole little branch of the franchise. But I get why people would be leery of this. We know that lately, over these, it's been the last handful of years. You could easily say like the last 10 years, even more, where these things, these diversity castings and things like that have been. I think the thing is like, it's because studios and everything like that are coming out saying that they want to get these people into movies. They want more inclusion, they want more diversity and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think anybody generally has a problem with that, because just through the natural filmmaking process, diversity happens anyway, right? It's something that happens anyway. So I mean, I don't know. Is everything? Let me see right here. Okay, yeah, never mind. Sorry, I thought something was going on there. So like we're getting these, these diversity happens in films no matter what. It's something that happens naturally. So for people to be upset by it, I think most people that are upset by it is because people are getting hired just due to who they are, not out of recognition because they are a good actor, actress, things like that. It's just an actor, okay? Whether you're a man or woman, you're an actor, okay? You're a musician. Is just some of those things like that. Really, all it comes down to is when it's done in a way that's sensical. And this really kind of takes me into the next topic that I want to get onto. But obviously, some people are going to be upset about these kinds of things. But really, that's what the Marvel universe really is anyway. It's all the characters, all the superheroes, all the bad guys, pretty much all the different characters are from all different walks of life. They're not all humans. They're not all male. They're not all female. There are, different walks of life out there in the Marvel universe. So it makes sense that they're going to do some of these kinds of things. And now, are there do these kinds of things really matter? I mean, for some people they do. Some people want to see somebody that represents them on screen, that reflects who they are and things like that, which, I think most of us are okay with that. Like, hey, yeah, I want to see somebody who looks like me on screen. Yeah, all cool. But most of us aren't demanding of it. You know what I mean? And when we do see it, we want to see it done right in like a human sense, like when these portrayals are actually accurate, not caricatures of who they are representing on screen. I think that's something that's very important. And a lot of that really ultimately comes down to writing and directing. So like I've already seen a few videos popping up. I think I've seen our Ryan Kennel from RK's Outpost just dropped a video talking about this, the same thing as well. I think Josh over at the Den of Nerds was talking about this on the Den of Nerds live this morning with this them getting ready to cast this trans actor for this Loki series. And again, guys, give it time. We'll see how it goes. I get there's always somebody out there trying to push a narrative and things like that. And again, I'm not saying that anybody is. I haven't seen Ryan Kennel's post or anything. He's probably just reporting on the news that is out there that is about this article. And the thing is, guys, there's really no big deal here. There's nothing really to talk about. They're hiring actors for a movie. That's what they do. That's what film productions do, is they hire actors for movies. And the thing is what we always ultimately want is we want the best actor for the job. We want the best director for the job. We want the best producer. We want the best cameraman. See, no, I'm not going to go there. We want the best person for the job. That's ultimately what it is. Now, the thing is just like the article that broke not too long ago about Captain Marvel 2 looking for a female director, the thing is are they looking just for that? You know, are they looking just for a female director? Are they looking just for a trans actor? That's the difference, is when you're limiting your pool of people that you want to bring into it. Okay, it's not the problem that they're hiring somebody. Like the reports about the Captain Marvel 2 thing, to me, really only meant that they honestly, what I took out of that article when they were talking about wanting to get a female director for Captain Marvel 2, what I took out of that article that I read was that it sounded like they had a director already in mind that they were looking at, and it was a female director. That's what I took out of the article. It didn't sound to me like they were specifically looking for a woman director and ruling everybody else out. I took it as they had somebody in mind that they were looking at, and that it was a female. That's really all I took out of it. And the thing is you even here with this thing as well, they're looking, you know, the reports seem pretty vague. I'd have to go to the Illuminati's channel and see website and find out exactly what they said. But a lot of it's always in wording, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, if they're looking for a trans actor, hey, you know, okay, so they're looking for one. They could still hire a straight actor to do it. You know, there's plenty of people out there that will say, "Oh, what about that Scarlett Johansson? Remember that time she was going to take that movie role and she ended up backing out?" And that's the thing. That's the thing when you do things like this, is you always get the pushback. You get the, "Hey, we're doing this," and then you get the pushback, and you know, and all those kinds of things, and people end up retracting from roles and not doing them and things like that. And that, you know, that in itself is an issue, but is it a bad issue? It's not. I mean, fans need to let their voices be heard. There's nothing wrong with that. And studios need to, you know, they need to listen to their fans to an extent, to keep their fans happy, because their fans are who give them the money to watch their movies. So it's a little bit of give and take. It's a little bit of give and take when it comes to those kinds of things. But I guess we'll learn more about this as time goes on. You know, here I'm sure this story will be developing. But I gotta say, I mean, it's not unimaginable that they're going out there looking for somebody, you know, to, you know, I guess you could say, to check that box off, if you will, which is something that's going to take us right into the next subject that I want to talk about today, and that is some more Kevin Smith movies. It's a Kevin Smith week. Last night I was over on Fanjexter's channel, and guys, I didn't realize until after we got done watching there was a real problem with my audio on that stream. And it wasn't me. It wasn't necessarily Adam over at Fanjexter. It's OBS and the way that it works sometimes. Sometimes it gets really choppy, and it just will not agree with you. Trust me when I say that OBS is a mother. Okay, it's a mother, and that's part of the reason why I originally started this stream, and then it ended up, you know, I had another stream going, and I was running it through OBS, and OBS was acting up, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do it through StreamYards, I guess, today. All right, so that's what we're doing. So yeah, but that's good. That's all going to take me into this next part. I want to go ahead and get in here and say good morning to everybody. I see we got Fanjexter here, says take two, Social Introvert TV. Thank you so much for being here. We got Tommy, says greetings. LB from the Lonely Banter says I am here. Yes, you are. Fanjexter says, people have been praising Kevin Feige for 12 years. Not sure why all of a sudden people think he's going to suddenly magically forget how to make MCU movies. I couldn't agree with you more there. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, somewhat formulaic. He has a method that he uses for making these movies and everything, and they do it. And I mean, there's no problem. There's no issues with them getting a trans actor. It's irrelevant. And that's the thing, is reports like this are irrelevant. You know, they're really irrelevant. They really mean nothing. I mean, what it is it's ultimately a clickbait article, you know, to get you to go on there and view it and read it. And hey, that's just the game. That's just the internet game, you know. It's funny. It's funny because I recently did a video talking about the internet game and the YouTube game and everything, and how we all kind of play into it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you got to do things to get people to watch your videos, to go to your website and stuff like that. And that usually involves having like clickbait. Clickbait, you know, clickbait isn't a bad thing. It means you got to have a provocative thumbnail, a provocative headline to get people to click on your video, to click on your website link, and all of those different kinds of things, you know. And, you know, I made a video about that, and it upset people because people don't realize that's kind of the point of that's the point of the video, and two, that's what you got to do here, like online, if you want people to watch your videos. I mean, that doesn't mean that you have to go out there and make bad clickbait. There is bad clickbait. You want to see bad clickbait? I could name plenty of clickbait channels out there that you could go check out. I mean, look at Emergency Awesome or Everything Always or Cosmic Wonder or War Stew. You know what I mean? They do a lot of clickbait stuff. You could look at the Den of Nerds. They do clickbait stuff. You know, pretty much everybody that is, if you're going to be successful on YouTube, that's what you do, is you have to feed into the clickbait at some point. And it's not saying that, you know, like, it's clickbait that you're making people mad. Like, oh, you're not even talking. Like, that's the thing, is like, you got to talk about what's in your thumbnail and what's in your headline in the video. Some people don't do that. Like, it's just like really bad stuff out there. You know what I mean? And that's really what that kind of stuff is all about. And so, you know, you play into that to get these headlines, and then you get there and only find out that, like, oh, hey, they're just casting a trans actor. No big deal, right? I mean, that's the thing, is it's irrelevant. But stories and reports are put out like this to help create hype, to bring awareness to things, to get maybe to get hate clicks, to get rage clicks, and all that kinds of stuff. It's just the name of the game. So, you know, whatever. I mean, this article just says they're looking for to cast somebody like that. John Draper, thank you so much for being here. Says, hey, everyone, what's up with the Kevin Smith talk lately? Last night, Don Draper, I was over on Fanjexer's channel, and we were well, because last week it was announced that he was going to be discussing Kevin Smith films this week over on Fanjexer's channel. He does these NCAA tournament bracket type things where we rank movies and things like that. It's really fun. You should go check out Fanjexer's channel. There should be links down in the description of this video where you can go do that. And you can even watch last night's broadcast. It was a little choppy, and I'm sure me and Adam are both very apologetic for that. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. I didn't even realize that it was that bad during the live chat until afterward. I got through and watched it lately. So that's what all the Kevin Smith stuff is about right now. And also, actually, over like his stuff today is actually going to be feeding into kind of what I was starting off here with, this trans actor being cast for the Loki series. Let's see, Sir Nerdalot, thank you so much for being here, and Don Draper, thank you so much for being here as well, and Fanjexer and Tommy. Let's see, Fanjexer says Jay and Silent Bob Reboot recently came out on home. Yeah, I was gonna say, and that as well. It did just recently come out on digital streaming. Morning, Tommy. Fanjexer. Okay. The bracket was fun, tough, but fun. Yeah, that was a tough thing to do last night. Like I said, you can go watch the video and maybe turn down my parts or something, or skip over the parts where I was talking because the audio was all choppy. But Adam's commentary sounded perfectly fine, and maybe I should have recorded it or something so I could send it to him and he could re-edit it and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe we'll do an overdub of it. But yeah, that was a fun and tough thing last night. Don Draper says, I went to a Vulgarthon a long time ago. My friend dragged me to it in New Jersey. My buddy almost got into a fight with Smith's mom. Good thing for my buddy Smith's dad was still alive to break it up. Nice. I'm not sure what Vulgarthon is, but that sounds pretty cool, actually. Thanks. Worked on fixing the lag issue, so it should be better going forward. Awesome. Good deal, man. Hey, man, technical difficulties happen. I Am True Skills, thank you so much for being here. He says, that Thor comic was crazy. Yeah, you know what's funny is I Am True Skills is, I just watched a video today, and I believe somebody was talking about it yesterday, too, about this possible crossover event. Maybe it was you. Talking about this possible crossover event between DC and Marvel with that comic, and I was sitting there reading it, and I remember reading it thinking kind of like, this seems a little odd. You know, I didn't really think nothing of it. And then I seen Lethal Lightning drop the video this morning talking about this possible crossover between DC and Marvel and stuff, this secret crisis or something like that. And I'm like, I guess that makes sense. But as I said yesterday when somebody mentioned that in the chat, Marvel and DC need to get their shit together before they decide to cross over and do anything. Get your books right. Concentrate on putting out some good titles on your own publishing platform first, and then think about doing crossovers. Until you can make some of these titles better, just stick to your own thing. Don't worry about crossover stuff, because like I said, I've been talking about here for a while. Indie comics are really great because, man, they grab you, and they, you know, a lot of them, they suck you in, and they make you wait. Like every single issue, you're like, oh, on the edge of your seat, waiting for that next comic book to come out. Even the ones I like by Marvel, when I read them, I get done reading it, and I'm like, all right, there's an issue. I guess I'll be waiting for next week or for next month's issue. Not a whole lot that really grabs you and pulls you in and makes you want to read that next issue, unless you're maybe reading Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality or Amazing Mary Jane. Yeah. So that, I mean, they need to work on that. But that was a pretty crazy book yesterday. That Thor comic. It really was. Let's see. Certainly a lot said, "Hey, I still had a lot of fun. It was fun. It was like, for me, it was fun because like I didn't hear the breakup and everything." Fanjector says, "No, no, it was me. I'm sorry. Skype is being a pain in the ass. I figured out solutions and tested them out last night, so it should be good going forward." No, it's not you though. I mean, while it's probably like the OBS and stuff, and on your end, it's not you. It's the technology and stuff like that. Like you seen this morning, I started this stream off on running through OBS and everything, and it didn't want to work. It was dropping frames. It was like in the red. It was terrible. So I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go with StreamYards this morning. So it's not always you. It might be your stuff and your equipment and stuff. It's not on you. How about that? It's not on you. Perry Comics is lurking. Snow Dub. What is up, my bro? Says Jenner check or Yenner check that like button. Yes, man. And Snow, we need to get you on the show again here soon. Maybe we need to get you and Kermit both on the show here pretty soon, man. Listening at work. Awesome, man. Good deal. Make that money. Cerner Dela says Asasia is my significant other, and I've been trying to get more people on. It's a brilliant idea. Yeah, it is. I really do like what they're doing over there, Cerner Dela. And thanks for bringing your wife on there too. Was he saying the name right? Is it Asasia? I don't know. I think I'm saying that right. Perry Comics says, "Hey, Tommy." Fanjecture says, "Yeah, she was awesome. Loved her takes." Absolutely, me too. And I think it sounds like we all kind of feel the same way about all of those films. You know what I mean? With some minor differences in them. The CJH says, how you doing this morning, the CJH? I hope you're doing well. For the love of movies, Kobe, how are you doing this morning, young man? I hope you are doing well. And guys, everybody, get in the comments, say hello to Kobe for the love of movies, and wish him all luck on his interview coming up this Saturday. This young man is going to be possibly getting a job at his local movie theater. And I gotta say, I'm kind of hyped up for that, because then that means that he's going to be bringing us more movie reviews. He'll be raking in some money, some funds to maybe upgrade his setup, maybe get a better camera and do all that different kinds of stuff for his channel. Or then again, maybe he's going to do the smart thing and save the money for college. Perry Comics says, you have to catch people's eye and attention. Absolutely, 100% you do. I mean, clickbaiting is really kind of the name of the game. Feeding into the like the hate clicks or the love clicks or anything like that. It's all part of the game. Like, I'm not gonna hate on people for doing what they do. I mean, people do what they do, man. It's just how far are you willing to go for those clicks, for those views and things like that. That's really about it. You know, I mean, I think most of us here on YouTube are just here to have fun, make videos, and share our opinions and thoughts. You know what I mean? And sure, if we play into stuff along the way, it happens, man. It happens. Like I said, I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle, man. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to have any fun with it while I'm out there doing it as well, making my own content. And you know what? Maybe one of these days somebody will care enough about me to make fun of me too. I'm not a lonely man, but I'm lonely in the sense that nobody makes fun of me. Maybe it's because I'm unmake funnable of or something. I don't know. Let's see. The CJ says, pretty good, Tommy. I got to make sure I'm actually awake for my stream Friday. I missed the stream Monday that I promised everyone because I fell asleep. It happens, man. It happens. Like usually on my Friday night streams, I'm usually dragging, but you know, because it happens late at night. It's a Trailer Park Live. We're getting ready to have some fun. We get hyped, and that's what gets me so live for those shows. Is plus I get on there, I get a curse and stuff, and then I get to interact with all of the awesome viewers that go to the show. It's always a little bit of fun, man. It's always fun. Perry Comics says, I talked about it. You talked about the actress, the actor being sought for the MCU. Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, it's news. It's newsworthy. You know, talk about it. Disney would never work with Warner Brothers. As far as what, I'm not sure what you're talking about here, the CJH, because when it comes to the comic books, it's not necessarily them working with Warner Brothers. I mean, on their film production side, Warner Brothers and DC are, closely, related, basically. The only thing is, I'm not sure how far DC is into Warner Brothers as far as their comic line is concerned. I mean, obviously they cross promote and everything, but I mean, does Warner Brothers own DC? I honestly don't know. But the thing is Marvel and DC have teamed up and done crossover events in the past. They've certainly done that. I mean, hell, I could show you proof of that. And where's that? I got it right here. Give me just a second here, man. Give me just a second here. I mean, they did this back in the day, and I know they've done stuff since this too. You know what I'm saying? So like, to say that Marvel, I mean, unless you're talking about Disney and Warner Brothers specifically, if you're talking about Marvel and DC, I mean, they've done it in the past. And I know they've done it more recently than this as well, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, it's not unimaginable. It's not unimaginable. I can just look at that too. I mean, it's X-Men, the new Teen Titans. Yeah. It's not in the best. It's not in the best condition, but oh yeah, not at all. I mean, I think it looks like even the cover is detached there. You know what I mean? I was a kid, man. I was a kid. But yeah, I mean, it's not unimaginable that they would decide to team up and do a crossover comic together. That's not unimaginable. Now, if they were going to, if they were talking about a crossover movie or something like that, oh, I would say yeah, absolutely. They're probably not going to do that anytime soon because Kevin Feige, he won't want to have anything to do with Marvel at least, or with DC at least at this point, because DC can't even make. It's been a while since they've done a decent film. It seems like it's been a while. I guess it really hasn't, because Shazam was pretty good. You know what I mean? Shazam was good, and honestly, I mean, Wonder Woman was good. Aquaman was good. So I mean, but it's not the quality that Kevin Feige wants to be mixing up things with. So for sure, I hear you there. More likely to see Snyder Cut than to see Disney work with Warner Brothers. Again, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Are you talking about comic books or films here? Because we're not talking about. I wasn't talking about MCU DCEU crossover at all. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not for sure what you're talking about there exactly. Please feel free to let me know what exactly where you're going at with that. Because yeah, TV, like a TV show or something, like movie, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. I wouldn't say never, but yeah, 99%, 99.9, yeah, it's not going to happen. Exactly. Acacia. Okay, Acacia? Is that how you say it then? Did I say that right? Acacia? I think so. Let me see if I got that right this time. Acacia. Say yes or no. Acacia. Bought my tickets for Birds of Prey this morning. Not necessarily hyped for it, but I always like giving comic book movies a chance. Me too, Fanjecture. As a matter of fact, there's really only a couple I haven't ever seen, let alone haven't seen at the theater. That would be Fantastic Four, the one with I almost said Michael Jordan. You know who I'm talking about, Michael B. Jordan. I didn't see that one at the theater. I did not watch the new Hellboy at the movie theater. And I know there's another one as well. Yes, WB owns DC. I think he means film-wise, not comics. Oh, yeah. Film-wise, I doubt they're really... Yeah, and I was kind of thinking the same thing. Film-wise, I doubt they're going to do anything anytime soon. Anytime soon, I doubt they're going to do anything. Comic book, definitely imaginable. I won't watch it giving a hard pass. Hey, that's fine, Tommy. You'll see plenty of us do our reviews, and you'll know by seeing reviews, like if it's something that's actually decent or not. You know, like should I consider go seeing it or not? You know, for the most part, I think a lot of people are feeling like or not, because even me, I'm going to go see it at the theater, but I don't think it doesn't look like it's going to be like a really super great movie. I think okay, and they very well could own the comics too, but I do see them making that crossover in the comic books, but not so much in the film or TV show world. Definitely, I agree with you there. Then okay, Batman Spawn was my favorite crossover ever. I don't think I ever read that. Sounds like it would be a good one. like a three, look like a 3.5 grading to me. Oh, it's probably worse than that. It's probably worse than that. Marvel used to be independent, so I think it was easier. Yeah, well, and again, they both were. They both were. But I can't imagine him doing it in the comics. I can. I regret buying that Spider-Man Daily Bugle comic. Nothing happened. Was it that bad? Dang, man. Why'd you say anything, man? I haven't even read it yet. Dang, I am True Skills. You are so not hyping me up to read that comic book now, man. Dang it. In the end, Comcast owns Warner. Yeah. And again, I don't really know much about that, but I think I don't think you're wrong there. I don't think you're wrong there. I was referring to comics. I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers bought out the comics, which is why we see DC publish Scooby Doo and other Warner Brothers properties. Yeah, very well could be. Very well. Actually, I think most of the Scooby Doo books I've seen have been put out by IDW. Is it IDW that's been doing those? I think it's been IDW that's been doing those, because they do a lot of those kind of franchise titles and stuff. I saw the trailer for Birds of Prey made by a fan in the style of Suicide Squad, and it made it much more exciting than the official trailer. That's not unimaginable. That's not unimaginable at all. Okay, so getting back into today's topics, and Don Draper was here asking earlier, like, what's with all the Kevin Smith talk? Well, recently, like I said, we were over on Fanjecture's channel, and we were discussing Kevin Smith films just last night, and it was a really good time. If you get a chance, I mean, like I said, if you go watch it, you might wanna just take and just mute it or something during my speaking parts, because it sounded like it was all choppy and broken up. But it's great today that we're talking about this today, because with the subject of today's thing, talking about the fact that the MCU is looking to cast a trans character in this movie, in the Loki series, and it's not a bad thing. Okay, and here's the thing is kind of like what I've been kind of reiterating and talking about quite a bit here on the channel, is the fact of, and what I was talking about earlier, is I don't think there's anybody out there that's against the diversity or the representation on screen and in films. I don't think there's anybody that's against that. It's just that when you do that, make sure that you've got a good story. Make sure you got well built characters. Make sure that make sure that you're just making a good film, not based solely on a person's identity or a character's identity, unless that's exactly what it deals with. And for the most part, in a lot of these superhero comics and stuff like that, it's not ever about that. You know what I mean? A lot of the superhero comics are kind of really analogies for a lot of those things, not just that. Which is kind of funny, because something like Stan Lee was saying in Kevin Smith's great movie of Mallrats, where he was talking about how each one of these villains was like some part of his own identity growing up, and how Doctor Doom was, and the Thing, and all of these different things, the Hulk. He was talking about all those different things, making an analogy out of them towards life, and just general things like that. And like I was saying yesterday, there was the thing is when it comes to these Kevin Smith films, he's done a lot of that in the first place. Last night on Fanjecture's channel, as a matter of fact, I was talking about him being the grandfather of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because because he really did that same template that Kevin Feige is doing now with all of his films, with the View Askew Universe. Was he took and he built a world around these certain characters. Jay and Silent Bob kind of tie all of these movies together, because they make an appearance in all of these movies. They're all different styles of movies, where Clerks goes from being a comedy to Clerks 2, which is full of a lot of drama and comedy. Then you move on to Mallrats, which is it's like a coming of age story, which most coming of age stories are usually comedic. And this one's more comedic. Of course, a coming of age story would have some drama in it too. And there was some drama in there, though adolescent, there is drama in the movie, but it was still, for the most part, comedic. And then you move on to the film that came out after that, which I believe after that, if I'm not mistaken, was Chasing Amy, because I believe Chasing Amy came before Dogma. I'm almost totally sure there. I could be wrong. Maybe we should go look up that IMDb and find out. Let's see here. I know I was just looking. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Why is it being slow here? Yeah, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, then Dogma. Okay, I thought I had that right. And the thing is, then you move into Chasing Amy, and that movie ended up winning yesterday. It won. It won like out of all the Kevin Smith movies. So apparently, Chasing Amy is Kevin Smith's best movie. Although I will argue that it's actually Clerks, or Clerks 2. But you go into a Chasing Amy, a movie that is comedic and it's full of drama. I mean, I'm telling you, it's so full of drama. It's not even a coming of age story. It's becoming an adult story. And that's the thing, because they're dealing with so much stuff in there. And this is a movie that does everything that the MCU has been doing. It started building a world. It started introducing characters. It's taken these movies and interconnected them by way of Jay and Silent Bob and built the View Askew Universe. And this movie, of all of them, absolutely, Chasing Amy has all the representation in there, and it hits every single beat. You've got your gay characters in there. You got your lesbian characters. You got your black characters. You got your white people. You got pretty much across the board, everybody is pretty represented in this movie, except for maybe a trans character. But though I honestly don't know, maybe there's one in there somewhere. But the thing is when you watch a movie like Chasing Amy, you don't hear anybody screaming at the top of their lungs, "Oh my God, this movie is woke. It's SJW. It's no." And you also don't see people walking around on the other opposite side of that, picking up this film and praising it for all that it did either, with its inclusion, with its diversity, with its checking all the boxes, because that's what this movie did. It did all of that. The reason why you don't hear anybody screaming at the top of their lungs about how it's SJW or anything is because it's a well-written story with well-written characters, with a great plot, with a great story and narrative thread running through the whole damn movie. That's why you won't hear nobody bitching about that. I mean, maybe you might find somebody that'll bitch about it. You might find somebody, but honestly, they're reaching if they do, because this movie hits all those beats and it does it right in a good, sensical manner that is digestible, that's not on the nose, that's rewatchable. This is a movie I've loved since it came out at back in 1997. You know what I mean? And that's been a while, and so that's the thing, is when these things are done right. And so far, for the most part in the MCU, we've seen most of these things handled in the right way. So I mean, to anybody out there who's upset about those kinds of things, hey, go look at a Kevin Smith movie, because Chasing Amy won the award last night, but it's one of those movies that has all of those boxes checked. It does all of those things. It does everything. And really, I guess of all of them, it is probably the most deserving movie out of the Kevin Smith movies, because it manages to toe so many lines and still get its point across, to still be funny, to still be dramatic, to still have impact over 20 years later, and still hold up the test of time. That's what this movie does. This is a shining example of how a movie like that should be made and should be done when you want to make a movie with representation and things like that in it. This is the model that you follow, what Kevin Smith done. Kevin Smith the shill. Kevin Smith, the guy who cries at every single comic book movie that comes out and says every single one of them is a masterpiece. Yes, that Kevin Smith. He knows how to do it. Now, I can't really speak and defend a whole lot of the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, but I did that. I explained a little bit of that last night on Fanjexter's channel as well, where Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is really one of those movies. It's a coming of age film, but more like a coming of an adult film, a coming of a father film, because it's playing on a lot of things. And like I was saying yesterday, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence by saying, like, you just didn't understand it. But when I saw this movie at the theater, there was a lot of parts, a lot of comedy in it, that when I was watching it, I'm like, I'm the only one laughing. Was the joke too fast, or did nobody get it? You know what I mean? But I also think the dramatic beats that this movie was trying to take on and do, it falls short because Jason Mewes is not a great actor. He's great at playing Jay, who is probably for the most part Jason Mewes. He's great at playing that role, but he don't have the chops to hit all those dramatic beats and things like that. They had Ben Affleck in there for that. Shannon Elizabeth, wasn't that her name? Shannon Elizabeth, who played his former girlfriend, who played Justice in the movie. I don't think she's as great of an actress to pull off those dramatic beats as well. But it's a perfect example of, like, the movie really pays homage to all these other films that came before it, is what it does. And like I said, I understand why somebody wouldn't like Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, but for somebody like me who got all the beats, who understood everything, and like I said, I'm not saying that nobody else out there did. It struck all the right notes, and I really do like it. It's a more heartfelt film than it's supposed to be a comedy, and I think that's what people wanted when they seen Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, is they were wanting a comedy, not a drama, not something with serious messages and things like that in it. And I get that. Now, moving on into Clerks 2, I was talking about this I believe even yesterday, and then we were talking about it on Fanjexter's show last night as well. Is Clerks 2 is, to me, I think that it's probably the next one that's got to be up there with Chasing Amy. Like, for me, if Clerks 2 and Chasing Amy would have been battling it out instead of Clerks and Chasing Amy, I think that's who ended up battling it out for the number one spot. Clerks, my vote would have been for Clerks 2. Okay, because it hits a lot of the same beats that Chasing Amy does. Just Chasing Amy has. Here's the thing: is both of these movies deal with a lot of the same things. One of them is one of them's sort of a becoming an adult film, and the other one is being an adult and going beyond that. I guess maybe adulthood, maybe going from adulthood to being an adult, and the other one is going from coming into adulthood. Maybe that's how I should frame it a little bit better. From Chasing Amy is more about coming into adulthood, where Clerks 2 is more about becoming into being an adult. Because Chasing Amy deals with all those things. And both of these movies really deal a lot with confrontation, dealing with our own inner demons, being able to face up to our own shit, and being accepting of that or not accepting of it, and seeing how we react to those things and the world around us, and how we take them in and how we digest them and put it back out there into the world. Chasing Amy, we get the whole thing where it's very dramatic. We see these two kind of coming to terms with who they are. We got a lesbian who falls in love with a man, and she's kind of ostracized by her friends, and he's obviously ostracized by his best friend for falling in love with this lesbian, and developing this relationship, and how it's changed him. Relationships change people no matter what. Even if the character Alyssa hadn't been a lesbian in the movie, even him getting a girlfriend would have still led to that conflict between Holden and Banky, because you got two best friends who, the one of them starts spending more time with his girlfriend. It's just something that happens. It deals with those kinds of things. And that's what's so great about Chasing Amy, is it hits all those dramatic beats, and then it still has some comedy sprinkled in there. Where you look at Clerks 2, and to me, I think it's just a little bit better movie, and a lot of it probably for budgetary reasons as well. But it deals with all of those same things. It deals with relationship issues. It deals with becoming an adult and taking on responsibilities and those kinds of things. And it also ultimately deals with the same biggest thing that both of these movies deal with, and that's confrontation, being able to confront others, being comfortable with it, being accepting of how others see us, of how others view us, of how we are perceived by others, and what we put out there for others to perceive about us. You know what I mean? Because Clerks 2 deals with a lot of that. It hits great comedic beats. It deals with a lot of these things about going from just being an adult to becoming an adult, and these relationships, and like I said, how we deal with each other. A lot of people out there in the world are uncomfortable with dealing with things, with taking on certain subjects, with confronting people. A lot of people are not good with confrontation, and I get it. Unless you've been in a world where you do that a lot, you're probably going to be uncomfortable with it. It literally used to be like my job every single day was confronting people. Okay, you get good at it. The thing is when you're that person, when you're in a position where you have to confront people on a constant basis, the thing is what you start to learn to do is, be empathetic towards others. You see from other people's point of views. You got to understand where they're coming from. You got to get them to understand where you're coming from. You got to find some common ground. It's okay for you to disagree with the other person. That's what it's all about, is that disagreement. The only way to move forward is with that disagreement and coming to terms and talking things out. The only way to move forward is by doing that. The only way for you to mature is to be able to do that, to be able to confront others, to be able to talk to others, to be able to put yourself in an uncomfortable position and deal with that uncomfortability of your own and get past it. So many people out there in the world cannot do this, and that's why these two movies are absolutely Kevin Smith's best films, because it deals with that, confronting others, confronting ourselves, facing up to our own demons and dealing with it and dealing with other people. A lot of people cannot do this, and it's not good. Everybody needs to be able to do this. It's not easy. Believe me when I say it's not easy. Learning to come to deal with others, to come to terms with and be comfortable in your own skin with your own thoughts, your own feelings, and sharing those with other people. You know why it's so hard? Because it makes you vulnerable, and people don't like being vulnerable. And when you are vulnerable, what are you? You're on the defense. If you're vulnerable, you're on the defense, you're playing defense. And what do you want to do? You want to be defensive. When somebody comes out and criticizes you, you want to attack back. You want to be defensive, and that makes sense. But that is where most people are not good at confronting others, because you have to be able to be willing and able to face those facts and deal with it, and realize that these criticisms that you're getting are only criticisms from other people, and it's only there to help you. The people out there doing that are only there to help you grow as a person. You know what I mean? It's not just to be an asshole to you and to make you want to hole up and be like, okay, like I can't make myself vulnerable to others and open myself up to the world. It's about the exact opposite of that. You have to be able to come together, to confront people, to talk to people. Take those criticisms, take them to heart if you have to, and learn from it and grow from it. That's what these two films are all about. And both of these movies deal with that through relationships with boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives and best friends. And like I was saying yesterday on the show, I'm not doing it today. I'm not welling up today. But that's exactly what the movie is about, is Dante and Randall growing up and maturing in their friendship and coming to terms with the fact that they do love each other. You know what I mean? Just like Jay and Silent Bob, they are hetero life mates. You know what I mean? And it was hard for Randall to come to terms with that. He didn't want to let go of his friend. And not only because he didn't want to let go of his friend because he thought his friend was going to be gone, but because he saw that the person that he was going to be leaving with and get married to was not the right person for his friend. It's the same conundrum in both of these movies. It's the same thing in both of these films. But the thing is it's just done that friendship aspect of it is done just a little bit better in Clerks 2. And Clerks 2 hits all those same beats, hits all those right beats. And that's why, to me, Clerks 2 is Kevin Smith's best film. And I've got to say, though, Chasing Amy definitely is that second film in his top in the top of his collection. So for me, according to yesterday's thing, it would go Clerks 2, then Chasing Amy, and then after that, that's when the debate really starts, isn't it? Isn't that where the debate really starts? Because then you got Clerks, you got Dogma, you got Mallrats easily falls down there. You got Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is a good one. It is. It's a good one. And then, you even got like Zack and Miri Make a Porno, because Zack and Miri Make a Porno deals exactly with a lot of the same things that Chasing Amy and Clerks 2 do as well. It deals with friendships and relationships and those kinds of things. And it's actually even made more difficult by the fact that you have a friendship that is being changed by a relationship between the two people. So that's one of the beauties of the Zack and Miri Make a Porno film. But let's go ahead and get here into the live chats. I'm sorry I kind of went off a little bit there on a little tangent there for you guys, but you guys know how I get, man. You guys know how I get. Let's see. Captain Pennsylvania says, I made it. What's up? What's up, Captain Pennsylvania? Hope you're doing good this morning, Cap. Tommy says, Trinity, I did the research. It's convoluted, but yeah, in the end, Comcast owns AT&T, which owns Warner and a bunch of other properties. Yeah, and that kind of figures. Okay, so yeah, good deal, man. Good deal. So then Comcast owns AT&T, which owns Warner, but now, but is Warner okay? So you're talking about Warner, not that's where it gets okay. So they own Warner Brothers, and then Warner Brothers owns DC. So by de facto, Comcast pretty much owns all that. Okay, yeah, all good. Tommy says, "Hey, Captain Pennsylvania, what up?" CJH says, "I heard Deadpool 3 will have new mutants characters. It easily could. It easily could. I could see that. I could see that." Hey Trinity, if you like mystery and a slow burn, read Daily Bugle. Well, I've already bought it, so yeah. I guess we'll see. Let's see. Freedom of Speech says Captain Marvel is a fun movie that gets better each time you watch it. It's an okay movie. I don't know that it gets better each time I watch it. But it's an okay movie. I don't dislike the film. Tommy says, yeah. Freedom of Speech says Brie Larson is an amazing actress. No wonder she won an Oscar. She's a decent actress. I haven't seen enough of her work to say that she's a bad actress, or I just haven't seen enough of her work to say that she's a bad actor or not. I mean, Captain Marvel was an okay movie. I know there was something else I've seen her in. Can't remember what it was. Oh, Kong Skull Island. I thought she was good in that too. But as far as winning an Oscar, that's to me that don't count for much because like I didn't vote on that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of films win Oscars and stuff like that that are films that I don't like. So films that credibility with as far as films and actors and stuff like that, it's really just personal opinion and what a person likes and what a person don't like. More than anything. Let's see. Freedom of Speech says, Tommy, you are a closet racist. Freedom of Speech, you don't have to be coming in here calling viewers of the channel racist or anything like that. Tommy hasn't done anything to prove that he's a racist, let alone a closet racist. Yesterday, I even came here on the live chat and said that you're not a troll, just like our good friend Wookiee Supremacy isn't a troll. But you leaving this comment right here is you being a fucking troll. All right? You're more than welcome to be here and express your opinions and stuff like that. But don't be calling people names that you have no fucking clue of who they are. You just don't need to do it. That's teenage. Are you a teenager? You know what I mean? I mean, get over it. People are allowed to have their own opinions. That's the beauty and the subjectivity of films, music, comic books, just art in general. That's the beauty of it. Is it's subject to criticism. It's subject to our own tastes. That's what it's all about. And you calling Tommy a closet racist just because, you know, I don't even know why you're saying that. Tommy didn't even say anything remotely dealing with race. So just give it up. You don't have to be a troll. You're welcome to be here. That's fine. We welcome you here. But don't be calling the other viewers racist when you have no proof of that. Because I can guarantee you, in this case, you're wrong. You're wrong. Tommy isn't a closet racist. He's not even a racist. Okay. Apex Comics says, View Askew did it before Feige. Yes. Yeah, View Askew did. I mean, they did the world building. They did the building a world up and doing crossover characters. And they did it the same way. They did it the same way by making individual standalone films. And then you have just like little sprinkles that are tossed in between each one of them that kind of tie them all together. You know what I mean? Just like they do in the MCU. And Kevin Smith did that by way of Jay and Silent Bob. Damn trolls. Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. Like, I don't think freedom of speech is a troll. They're just being outrageous. They're just being outrageous. Like I said, I have no problem with freedom of speech being here. That's perfectly fine. freedom of speech. You're more than welcome to be here. And Tommy, it's okay that you timed him out if they're for them being like that, but you don't go out there calling people names if you have no proof of that. Okay? Tommy's not a racist. I can assure you. Tommy's a good guy. And as far as I know, freedom of speech, I have no clue whether you're a man or a woman. I honestly don't even care. But I have no feeling that you're racist or any of these kinds of things neither, or that you're even a troll. But what you're doing right now is being out of line and calling people racist, and that's trolling because you don't know Tommy. I mean, like, I know Tommy, but I don't know Tommy. But I can tell you he's not a racist. I've never even seen the closest thought of him being a racist. Apex Comic says, I'm an inker, not a tracer. Yeah, your mother's a tracer. Yeah, I mean, that's a great one. FN Extra, I let him go till they cross the line. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. Hey, man, you wouldn't be a moderator here if I didn't trust you, man. Let's see. I try to be fair as all. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I have no problem. You put the person on timeout or whatnot. I mean, do they need to be, banned from the channel or anything? No. But the thing is if you're going to be here calling people names, just go. Just go. Don't come in. We're having a good time talking about films and everything. Nobody in here has even argued with freedom of speech. Like, even I did. Like I don't even think Brie Larson's the best actor because I haven't seen enough of her stuff. Captain Marvel's an okay film. Does that make me a racist? I'm mixed race anyway. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, I trust you to be fair, Tommy. I trust you to be fair. I mean, I'm sure you've had shots fired at you before in comment sections and not gave two hoots about it. You know what I'm saying? These aren't the white people you're looking for. Oh man, that's funny. How are you doing this morning, James? I hope you're doing well. He says, that dude came back, really annoying. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I don't mind people being here. I like hearing other people's opinions and thoughts and things like that. I have no problem with that, but you don't need to be calling Tommy a racist or anybody else a racist unless you have actual proof of them being a racist. I mean, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? Like, at least have some proof of that. What up, El Capitan? Iron Tree Skill says, man, SJW sucks. I'm sorry. I encourage equality, but come on. Well, equality is bullshit anyway. I mean, equality just doesn't exist. I mean, that's all there is to that. Now, are we all equals in the sense that we're all human? We all bleed red, those kinds of things. We all have, I mean, we're all capable of the same things. Yeah, certainly. I mean, equality in that sense, yes, but there is no equality because and that's the thing. It's just a BS term. It's just a BS term. But I mean, in the sense that we are all human, we all bleed red. Yes, we are all equal. We're all just humans. We all make mistakes. Apex Comics, they've been around for a long time. They just weren't talked about as much. Okay. Yeah, Apex Comics says, I never heard of SJW until last year. Yeah, it's just a buzzword term, man, for people who are really into the identity politics stuff. Apex Comics says, I don't like checkboxes movies except Chasing Amy. Well, and that's the thing is because most movies aren't that. A lot of the media and things will spin things out to be that, even when they are not that. That's the thing we got to be careful of is those kinds of things. Really, it comes down to actually watching a movie to find out if that's what they're doing. Even if they say that's what they're doing, they can still do it in a good way. It just all kinds of depends. Like, you shouldn't be purposefully going out there to check boxes. That's the issue. That's one of the issues. Do we need Kevin Smith in the MCU? Way more than Taika. Yes, we need Kevin Smith in the MCU way more than Taika. AFK Bard says at Second Street Marvel, I made it for another chat. Yes. Chasing Amy was my least favorite, but I did see it when I was young and thought it was boring. Now it's pretty cool. I still like LOLs more though. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, comedies more. Yeah, I get that. Again, it's not for everybody, but to me, I think Chasing Amy is up there. I think it would fall number 2 to Clerks 2. Finger cuffs, like a pair of Chinese finger cuffs. Smith has written a lot of the Supergirl episodes. Interesting. I haven't watched Supergirl, so I wouldn't I don't know. I don't really watch TV shows. Jason Mewes was really good in Zack and Miri. Yes, he was. He was good in that. Oops, Supergirls. Yeah, I've seen that, Sir Nerd a lot. You're good to go. I was not a fan of Chasing Amy, but I did think Dogma was funny. Oh, Dogma is hilarious. Dogma is absolutely hilarious. Same old, how's it going? Steve Lathrop says Reboot was the bomb. See, and Steve likes it. And Steve knows good films, but Steve also Steve's like me in the sense like he under like. And again, I when I say that, it sounds like I'm insulting people's intelligence, but like I know that he got it and he understood everything that was going on with this movie. And I think Steve also didn't have the expectations that this movie was going to be an outright comedy like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was, like Clerks was, like Mallrats was. It was more of a coming of adult and growing up kind of piece. Fanjection says Steve Lathrop, Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo. Yes. And Fanjecture, Steve and Fanjecture, you guys should hook up because you guys, yeah, Steve is a huge film fan as well. And Fanjecture, Steve, go check out Fanjecture's channel, man. He does some cool stuff. Apex Comics says forced diversity. Exactly. Forced diversity is stupid. Ginger characters like Jimmy Olsen and Little Mermaid are replaced by black people. Just saying. Now me, I don't think that's forced diversity. I think it's just bad casting and a bad idea. I can't even say like forced diversity. It's just a bad idea. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that the movie can't be good with changing out those characters, changing the Little Mermaid to black. I don't think that's going to make the movie in itself bad. It could still be a good movie. There's no doubt about it. It could still be a good movie. It's just why though? Why? And if it's why because of diversity, go ahead and make the movie. I mean, they can still make it. I mean, the Little Mermaid will still exist. They'll probably still make a live action Little Mermaid at some point with white people in it and do all that stuff. And maybe they should because I like gingers. I just like gingers, but that's just me. That's why I like those Jumanji movies so much. Because Karen Gillan, so irresistible. Plus, she's just so cute. She's just so funny too. You ever follow her Instagram? She's just, I don't know. She's delightful. She's very delightful, and she's not bad on the eyes either. Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms. Yes, Fenrir Fryer. Hello, thank you so much for being here. Says Tommy, what's up? Yes, so let's see. Tommy says, ask any black guy. Most are going to say forced diversity is insulting. Of course they will, because it is. I mean, forced diversity is insulting. Vanjecture says, genuine question. How do you feel about The Wiz? Not the movie, but the forced diversity angle. Most people praise that movie, but it checks the box of modern forced diversity, changing races. It's been a long time since I've seen The Wiz. But when I watched it, I remember watching it as a kid and enjoying it. But I liked Michael Jackson stuff as a kid. No, I mean, I still like his music. His music is great. But, as a kid, and here's the thing is kids don't think about those kinds of things. And when I watched this movie, I was a kid and I didn't care. I didn't care about that. It was just a new version of The Wizard of Oz. That's all it really was for me. I didn't care about that then. Now I would have to go watch it again and maybe share my feelings on it. But I mean, you've certainly got a good point there. You certainly got a good point there, Fanjecture. Is it just because it's Michael Jackson that people didn't care? Again, I would have to go back and watch it. But like I said, you bring up a very good point there, Fanjecture. Very good point. We cared about Michael. Yes, yes. The Wiz was good, but the same thing. I hate that shit. Fanjecture says definitely. So if it is a famous enough actor changing the race, it seems like people are more accepting of it. I can't agree with that. Because some people aren't going to like it regardless. Uncomfortable position, like the back of a Volkswagen. Fanjecture says I think that was a bit different in a way since it wasn't an actual retelling of Oz and was something unique. Yeah, maybe so. I'd have to go back and watch it again. Blackula was another that I guess could be looked upon that way. Yeah, certainly. Oh man, and it just skipped big time here on me again, guys. Man, jumped quite a bit on me here. Damn, like that jumped a lot on me here. I can't even find where I was by scrolling up a little bit. Well, thank you guys for being so active. So we're gonna start right here with Tommy. I didn't believe it either, but I've seen several and they're close. Oh man, I must have missed something. Um, Never believed those testers legit. Yeah, man. See, I must have missed a lot here going on. DKOT says gingers make up 2% of the population, and in my observation, often date black folks. Gingers are a minority. They might be a minority, but hey, you know they've got a majority of my vote. Karen Gillan is the sexiest mind, body, and damn those milky white long legs. I know she is. She's just so beautiful. And like I said, go follow her Instagram. She's so funny. You know what I mean? She's so funny. Like I mean, obviously she's very attractive and everything, but you know, I think about like when I think about how she is and just how all the things that I've seen her on her social media stuff do, I'm like, I hope this can be my daughters when they grow up. You know, I hope they can be cute and they can be funny and they can be talented and they can just have fun with life because that's what it looks like Karen Gillan does. Just has fun. You know, can we get back to having fun? I heard I heard fingers were mutants. I'm being serious. I heard fingers were mutants. I must have. Oh, gingers were mutants. Oh man. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know. Depends on who you ask. Difference is the Wiz wasn't a reboot. It was a new alternative take on it without trying to eradicate the original. Okay, fair enough. I'd have to watch it again to see how I feel about it. Ease on down the road. I'm new on huge stories, even as a kid. Just give me new stories, Hollywood. Exactly. Agreed. Agreed. Um, get on down the road. Blackula was cool. Yes. Man, and I haven't seen Blackula in a long time, like probably since I was a kid. Like I was exposed to a lot as a kid. Probably stuff I shouldn't have been exposed to as a kid. But that's life. DOKT says the right attitude on a woman is sexy AF. Yes. Yes. Definitely, definitely. I'll have to agree there. But anyway, guys, I guess, guys, that's all I've got for today's video. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. And one other thing I wanted to talk about before I let you guys go, okay, is yesterday I dropped my review of the Dawn of X titles, and I was actually missing X-Force, and I'm kind of glad because, for one, whatever reason at my comic book at my comic shop, it wasn't in my pull list, and when I went in to film my comic book pull list yesterday, I seen it there. I was like, oh, hey, when I went in later, I was like, oh man, I didn't realize X-Force came out. So I got X-Force, going to be doing a review of that. I'm kind of glad that I had to wait on that because when I got home and I read X-Force, I'm like, woo, X-Force issue number 6, bro. This book has some very significant things in it that we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about in my review of that. But anyway, I hope you're all having a very good day. Thank you all so much for tuning into Second Street Marvel. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. You know how to do it. While you're at it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. If you don't like it, it's okay. I don't take it personally. But while you're at it, make sure you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. And when you invite them, tell them that we are a welcoming community. We're okay. It's okay to come here and have some disagreements and things. But just like freedom of speech, you don't have to come in here and call people names to get attention. You don't have to call people names to get your point across, okay? You don't have to do it. It's okay. You all have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.